Start. I'm like, I'm Chris. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah, so just take a couple deep breaths because it's just good to get comfy. Did I even set this? I did not. And is there anyone specific that we're trying to hear from today? Don't be too specific. I just want to know if there's anyone.
No, not really. Just I've never done this before.
Okay. Gotcha. And I already forgot her people because once you're in it, you're in it. Now it's gone. So I'm going to start fresh with you. Alright, take a deep breath. How old are you?
50.
What's your zodiac sign, you know?
Gemini.
On hold, just in case it goes out of print. So, yeah, go ahead and mix them around, please, when you feel good.
What do you do for work?
An underwriter.
Do you have a lot of guys around you right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels so boyish, and I can't tell if it's the boys that are, like, you have boys that are alive and past. Did you lose friends when you were younger? Where did you grow up?
In, like, Chicago area.
Okay, did you lose friends when you were, like, a teenager a couple times?
Not when I was a teenager, but close to that.
Okay. Yeah, it feels strange. Did you have the same friend group since when you were little?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like people would come in and come out, and then some people it feels like would go away, and then like would come back. Like it just feels like. Are you still friends with people that you've known since you were younger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you feel so like it's like such tight boyness. Like it feels like a frat, but that's not what it is. Like it's just like a community culture thing. All right. Yeah, you have a lot of boys. Okay. All right. Yeah, there is a boy that I think is your friend.
A lot of the traditional.
Did you lose it from when you were in early college?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Was he kind of nerdy, but in a precious way?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Take a deep breath. What did he do for work?
He worked at back in the, you're too young to even remember it, but it was like Funko Land or something. It was like a gaming place.
Oh, okay.
But he was in school and working at the same time.
What did he do for gaming? Like, was he a video game nerd, or was he just working there?
No, it was just a job.
Okay, gotcha. All right. When was his death quick and like unexpected?
Very.
Okay. Was he indulgent in any way? Like, I don't think that he overdosed, but did he like smoke or something?
He smoked pot.
Okay. All right. And then the way of death, was it not his fault? Not that anything is ever his fault, but like, did something happen, or was it like a car? Like, it just feels very quick.
It wasn't a car. It was very, very quick, but it wasn't like a car accident.
We don't have to go so, because I don't want to, bring up such old trauma. I will say, I can't feel his. It's like your sister's people. Like, I can't feel the way that he died, which is good. I literally only see him. Yeah, he feels like he feels like a nerd. So he might be in work. Like, he might be just kind of in his space. He doesn't feel in pain. Did he ever have breathing problems? My chest kind of hurts with him.
No.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of really good intuition right up underneath.
Was he living in the area, or had he moved away?
He was in the area.
Okay. When you found out, was he very close to you?
Yeah.
Oh, was your best friend? Okay, so then it might be you. Did you get chest pain around the time that he passed? Or do you ever get chest pain now?
I mean, I'm a fat guy, so.
You're so silly. Okay. Yeah, it feels like there's some tenseness on the heart.
I know, right?
God, take a deep breath with me.
So I worked in regulatory affairs, some more clinical research.
Yeah, do you remember that era of your life? I mean, obviously it was very difficult, but how was that for you? Was it like, holy shit, what the fuck am I gonna do? Or did you kind of eat it and just go on with life?
No, it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, like it literally feels like my heart is gone. And he's not showing me his death. I could tell that it was quick because he was fine, and then now he's not there, and that's the only reason that I could even tell that it was quick. And then I feel a tenseness in my heart, and it feels like panic, and I just started stuttering. So I would say, I think that he felt horrible about the fact that he left you. Did you dream about him for a month?
For anti-stress, in that kind of way.
Dream about him all the time.
Did you, after he passed, did you dream about him a lot, and then you didn't for a little while?
Positive, it could be negative.
I don't remember because it was. I don't think so. I don't know that the dreams started that quickly after, but it's been
Okay.
throughout.
It feels like he passed. And did he have a sister? Okay, he passed, and then he was with you and his sister, and he felt so fucking bad because you guys were very mature and handled a lot of things. Was his sister older?
No. Well, he has an older sister, but half sister, but
No, he was only with one sister. I can tell he has others, but he's literally only with one sister. She feels like she had the whole world on her shoulders after that, and he literally feels like, holy shit, I feel so bad. So I would say he feels like he lingered for a little while. Now, I don't know what happens when you die, because I haven't died yet, but it feels like when they pass, they have to shed their humanness a little bit. They have to shed their shame, their guilt, their fear, whatever. Sometimes they stay with you, and they get attached, and they literally have to take a minute and go expand and then come back. He hovered with you guys for like a month before he kind of took time, because he felt really bad, and it makes my chest hurt. And it makes me want to, take deeper breaths. So I would say focus on your breath work, because there's a little bit that we got knotted up when he passed that I feel like just kind of stayed knotted up. And yeah, it makes it hard to breathe a little bit. Do you have asthma or anything?
I used to when I was younger.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I would say this feels like an anxiety thing, but it literally just feels like I don't have enough air. So I would say focus on your breath, especially when you're thinking about him. But he is presenting as fun. Like, he's just doing his thing. Like, I'm not sad. It's no call to action. It's not like he's not dramatic, he's not a big thing, like he's just chilling, and he's in a party space or something. Like, it just feels like y'all used to hang out, and that's kind of where he's existing. Did he live in the same house most of his life?
Yeah.
He liked that house as well. Do people still live there?
Not his family.
Okay, I think he lingers there still sometimes.
When it comes to that.
Has his sister moved into another state?
Okay.
It's physics. It's literally just consciousness. It's fucking weird. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, he likes the house. He didn't follow his sister. I think he's with her on her birthday sometimes, or like on events. Like, it feels like he pops in, but either he doesn't know how, or he likes the house a little bit more or something. Now, when I say that, he's not lingering. He's not like earthside and like all upset or anything. He just likes to frequent it, and that's where he feels comfortable. And there's a dog involved, and I can't tell if the dog was when he was living and the dog is with him now, or if the dog is elsewhere. But there was a dog somewhere in the family. I'm gonna leave that for a minute. So the message that they bring is usually the way that they come through first, and the way that he came through first was literally just living life. He looks like a nerd, and he's having a fine time. I think it's funny that he looks like a nerd and he's not, and I want to keep calling him that because it seems like he's laughing in my head when I do that, and I think it's precious. Was he like into sports, or like what was his vibe? Was he like more butchy, or was he more?
He was not butchy.
But overall,
he was into sports somewhat, but more musician.
Okay, yeah, he feels like a geek, but like a me type of geek. Like, reads a bunch of books and is into. Yeah, I don't know. I like him a lot. Like, yeah, he's very precious, and the way that he came. What's your sign again? You're a Gemini. Okay.
My plan is.
All right, and you have boys around you. The men that you're around now, are they more masculine than like he felt safe? Like, you guys were masculine, sure, but you could be yourselves. Like, it feels like. All right, I would say the message is relax a little bit, let yourself be emotional or intimate or. Yeah, calm, if that makes sense. It feels like you are very. What do you do for work now?
Underwriter.
Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, it feels like you're.
Whether you're successful or not.
No. Take a deep breath in.
The onus is on your hands.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, just don't compare yourself to the men around you, because it seems like all of you have soft hearts and feel like you're not supposed to or something, so you're like this. And I like it because it's fun, you have a good time, but there's an intimacy there or a quietness there that I think he had in common with you that maybe you didn't even vocalize so much with each other. It just was seen in the other. Yeah, he walks with you. He likes you a lot.
Yep, absolutely, for sure.
And he likes when you use your voice. I don't know if you sing or if you write or if you talk or if you yell at sports or like whatever, but he likes when you use your voice because it's good. It makes you laugh.
To me, when it comes to that,
Alright, do we have, no, I'm not special, he's always with you, and this is physics, like I said, but do you have a question or any guidance from him while we have him here?
No, I'm just curious to see if anybody I recognize come through if at all possible.
Make it a problem to deal with, in that kind of way. But there's maybe a little bit of confusion to kind of get through. And when it comes to that,
what was your relationship like with your? I have either your dad or your grandfather, and I can't feel. Were they similar, your father or your grandfather?
I basically didn't have a grandfather.
Okay.
My grandfathers were gone.
Okay. And your father, he's passed?
Yes.
Well, you've got the potential of somebody coming right up on your sphere, which is kind of cool.
Was he difficult to access? What do you do for work?
interesting. It's like
He worked at an airport. He died when I was young.
Okay, alright, that makes sense. Okay, because he feels like he either worked far away or whatever. How old were you when he passed?
10.
Okay, that makes sense. Did you have sisters? Do you have this sister and you have other sisters?
Just her.
Okay.
That's my only sister.
That's so weird. I asked her if she had a sister too, like 3 times, and I don't know why I keep feeling whatever. All right, give me a minute.
But further into that space, I wouldn't be surprised.
Was your mom? Has your mom passed?
Yes.
Okay. Was she more frantic or emotional around that time? I mean, obviously, but like, was she like erratic?
About when my dad died?
Yeah.
So what was the last?
Like, it feels like you were seeing a lot of stuff happening, and you almost didn't know how to participate or what to do. Kind of like it feels like everyone was tall and everyone was doing stuff, and you were like.
Well, sure, I was 10, so it was like things were happening around me, and I was kind of like, 10 years old. So.
Do you remember much of that time?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say, I'm not going to get too much into it because I feel a boundary and I can't tell if it's yours or if it's his, but I would say hold space for that as it comes up, because it just feels like there's something about your age there that you're like, oh, well, I don't know, and you do know, like, so let yourself feel it or mourn it. Almost, yeah, because it feels like you have sisters that either you were like, well, they knew or they did or something, like you feel like you don't have the right or something like that. So I would say allow yourself space, and he's with you. He feels very quiet and very stoic. Did he have friends in service, like military or police or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's well structured, and he's, I don't know how to describe it, because he's not like a, what's the word?
And then they're gonna need a little.
He's not like hoity-toity, but like he's a good man. Like he's like a masculine type of thing. Like he's good at work and he's well respected, and he just like feels like a guy's guy. And I like him a lot in that way. Yeah, he's proud is the best word for it, because he doesn't feel the need to talk to you. He doesn't feel the need to do a bunch of stuff. Some dead, they feel like they gotta fix everything. Like, oh my god, he's just watching and he's like this a little bit. I would also say. He probably could have accessed his emotional aspect a little bit more. You don't know much about your grandfather. Okay. Do you know if his father was from somewhere else?
Like in the country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some skew about, hold on, that. Yeah. He might have been raised in a harsh masculine space, so he felt like he had to be, he's like you. Like, he's calm in the belly, but like has to be like this. Yeah, alright, I would say both of them.
Honest and chaos.
Do you feel like you're more emotional, or you're like whatever, like what's the vibe?
Like belief does breed.
I can be emotional.
You know, when it comes to that, and it can create a poltergeist.
I'm more probably emotional than like most guys, I would say.
Yeah, you feel, but I don't think so, because you feel the same amount of emotional as the others. None of you express it though. Like you all feel the same. You're safe. You're comfortable. Like you feel stuff. I would just say, yeah, some intimacy with speaking it. So either talk about your feelings or paint it, or don't, but just be intimate with that part of yourself, because you feel like a poet in your belly, which I know, like you're. Maybe not, but like you feel like a poet, and your father feels the same way, and it almost seems like you think he was this like tough masculine, so you got to be this thing. But I think he likes you very much, and he also didn't express everything that he was, probably because of the way he was raised. Yeah, he's proud is the best word, but that doesn't, like, he just feels. He gives a boundary. I would say talk to him, yell at him, cuss him out if you want to, give him a cookie when you're eating something good. Like, it just seems like a little bit of connection there, because it feels like you think it's not your place or something like that, and it very much is. So I would just say give yourself more space with that. Okay, and then, and I keep thinking, so I'm gonna touch on it. I can't tell if it's ego, because I know that her son had passed, because we talked about that. Were you close to her son?
Not super crazy close, but
okay.
Yeah,
he
close.
Hovers as well. Do you live near her?
Not very far, like, half hour.
Yeah, because he hovers with her, so he might hover with you for that reason. It doesn't feel like he has a massive message or anything crazy, but like he's with you as well for sure. And like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into it, because now that I know his details, we're going to be fishing a little bit, and I don't like to do that. But he's present as well. Take a deep breath.
That kind of happened to me this year, so you know, like.
All right. Do we have questions for anyone that we are with?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to move forward. Are you in a relationship
right now? Somebody who's
no.
But they have a lot more different
qualities. Did something end?
Yes.
Did she pass, or did it end?
It ended.
Okay. When was that?
In the last couple years.
I feel like you may, like I said, like, you know them.
Do you have a child?
Yes.
Okay. Does the child stay mostly with her or with you?
With me.
Did the lady do something fucked up? You don't have to tell like too much about it, but like it seems like she's a little like hard.
Fairly local, but
okay.
local kind of like ingrained like any potential problematic mentalities, you know.
I don't know.
They're very kind of like
Hold on, give me a
cool,
minute.
calm, collected, chill, kind of like, yeah, which is great. They may have some of those
Yeah, give
similar
her some
past
space.
traumas.
I'm a girl's girl,
But,
but she sounds really bitchy.
yeah,
Like,
but it doesn't seem like
whatever she did, it feels like she's like this about it, and I think that you're like, all right, whatever. Hold space though, because that feels like, that makes me want to like, it makes me aggravated, and it feels like everyone else is also very aggravated. Is it a daughter that you have or a son?
Son.
Okay. How does he feel? How old is he?
Those 2.
Okay.
28, 24.
How old? Jesus, I can't even talk. How does he feel about his mama?
Disappointed.
Okay, yeah. It feels like that's what it's gonna be. He feels emotional in a way that you are, but in a way that he might be quicker to vocalize it, either in anger or in like emotion. Like he feels very quick. He feels like his poetry is right here, and if he has a son, his poetry will probably be here. So I would say, yeah, if you guys masculine with feminine structure would be helpful. For example, go fishing and talk about stuff. Like it feels like we need a little bit of a balance. She's young. And she makes me. Do you have to talk to that person at all anymore?
I mean, yeah,
Like
we
co-parent
can.
a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Does she have a sister?
Like for the first little bit, you know.
She has girls around her that are like, like it just feels like she's not taking accountability. So hold space for yourself in that. And why am I getting that? Let me see who's trying to tell me about that. Give me a minute.
They can be comfortable enough to just kind of, you know, and unmask for a second, you know. When it comes to this,
All right, yeah,
I don't know if
can't
you've ever kind of like
access
experienced.
it. And you said this was in 2022?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of them?
It feels like you're still in it a little bit, or maybe have blocked it a little bit. Don't take it to heart. Nothing that you did was deserving of whatever it was that happened. I can't even figure out what it was that happened because there's such a boundary, and that might be. Yeah, you have such strong boundaries. Like at first when we were trying to get in, it was hard to kind of get in, which I like a lot. But I would just say, hold on. Don't put up a wall between yourself and the feelings about that. It's okay to be angry about it or upset about it because the situation was not correct. You didn't deserve it, and it feels like part of you is like, all right, well, it's fine. It's not fucking fine, and don't ingrain that in yourself because that's not a sickness that you need to take on. That was her own problem. I'm gonna leave that for now because I want to go back to the people that have passed. Take a deep breath with me. And I'm going to open it up because we've been with many people. Is there anyone specific that we'd like to hear from, or do we want to keep seeing who's coming through?
Just see who comes through.
It's just one of those things that maybe kind of like, I don't know if you've like sort of built the ideal partner.
You didn't spend time with your grandfather. Did you spend time with your grandmother?
Like it might not be a bad idea.
A little bit.
Signing some traits together, you know.
Were they divorced, or what had happened with that?
My grandparents?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, he just passed first.
That's great, but
Yeah, I don't know too much about my grandfather. It was well before I was born.
If you don't
And
know what you're gonna
how old
get
were you
in
when your
for, then,
grandmother
you know,
passed?
Then all of a sudden,
I was like
the universe is
8,
like, here's what
I believe.
we decide, right?
Yeah.
So
Did
when
you
it
guys
comes to
spend time
that,
at her house when you were young?
I just consider it like even if you like work on a bunch of traits that it's like creating a unicorn, you'll just have a larger dartboard to hit.
Did she have lots of boys?
2,
and
my
that's
dad.
I know that's a very Zen Buddhist
Brother.
thing to say, you know.
No, it's okay. I know exactly where.
Yeah, she feels like such a
Yeah.
boy mom. Was she short?
Yeah, so basically,
I was short, so I don't
Right,
know.
totally. She
Probably,
seems small and
probably.
mighty. Like she feels like my mother, like who's like 4'11", but like she feels like a boy mom, but like in such a wise way. Like she wasn't super emotional, super erratic, super whatever. She does feel like when she was passing, I think people did dote on her the way she deserved because she felt like she was a matriarch, and I think in the end she did get some of what she should have gotten that before. Do you remember that time very much?
A little bit.
Did she pass at home? Okay. Was she at home up until the time that she passed?
Not really.
Okay, alright, yeah, I can only think of her in her home, which makes me happy. She feels with you. And how many grandkids would be there at the time? Like, was it just you, or was it a couple of you?
There was a couple of us.
Okay. Yeah, were you quiet when you were younger?
Yeah.
Probably.
You seem like shy in a way that she
Yeah.
liked.
That
Like,
is
for example,
gonna
she was a
be,
boy mom,
great
and it
for
seems like she'd be
freedom.
like expecting that the boys are, but she has a
You know,
soft
like,
spot for
like the
your
small things,
eyes. Like, you
literally
feel
could be
very
like playing with
observant
Play-Doh, like,
and very like
you know,
this. And
something to get
you're
that
like
creative
wise
brain
in a way that I
going.
think she
maybe
sees.
a little bit of an
Yeah,
intentional manifestation towards
hold on.
money when it comes to that. That can
And she
go
liked
through
feeding
that.
you,
So if,
but all
if you
grandmas
do any
do. But I literally, like, she
whatsoever,
liked feeding
that
you
could
guys.
be
Like,
a
she liked
great
having
place
treats.
to
All right, give me a
put
second.
energy towards it, you know, and something very inner child, like how it connects back to here.
Yep.
Because that fish and that clover, like all of your commitments.
Where was your
all
mom
vitality
from?
And indulging
The Chicago area.
like Venus.
Was she
ruled
Italian
sign,
at all?
You know?
No.
Okay.
Is the way forward when it comes to.
What are you guys? Are you Irish or Italian? What's the
Irish.
It's a great symbol of good luck, especially Asian prosperity symbol. And it's like
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really hard to access the women. The men came like water. The women are a little bit at a standstill, and they're here. It's just the luck. How old were you when your mother passed?
28.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And did your sister deal with most of that?
No. Like if you go out tomorrow and make all the wrong
Yeah,
financial
you don't give yourself
decisions,
enough credit ever. Like it literally feels like, because I keep thinking that you're a passive. No, I don't think, but I feel like you feel like you're a passive person and watching all this, and you're so in it. And I would just say give yourself more credit. Yeah, and I'm thinking of the situation with your either ex or your boyfriend, whoever it is. Like you just don't hold yourself responsible for all of this, and give yourself credit for what you've done, because you do a lot and you feel like you think you don't. I'm sorry, is your sister older than you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a very active little brother. That's not even a word that encapsulates you. You just happen to be the youngest. You're not a little brother. Like there's people that are eldest that are little brother. Like you're so on it. Yeah, you gotta give yourself more credit. And I think that the ladies in your family see that in you, but the men come through closer because it feels like you are more intimate with your masculinity right now than that femininity, which is something that we almost push down a little bit. So I would just say merge them a little bit. The women are very much there. They just want to let you do it because you feel like you're doing it. Yeah, and the men want you to take some pressure off of yourself. All right, take another deep breath with me.
A little bit more of that. Like here's where your confidence level lies in the economy and
did you guys lose a young person in your family, like a
extra
baby?
bit might not hurt in that kind of way. It's not thinking it till you make it.
Not a baby.
But it is definitely kind of being confident when you're not confident.
I would say no older than 6.
Energy enough to kind of like,
no.
be like, okay, so then
I wasn't even thinking 6. It literally feels like a 2-year-old. But all right, I'm gonna leave that for a
that doesn't ring a
minute.
bell.
Take a deep breath with
I think
me.
the water element can even help you in finance is ironic because the earth element's much better for that, right? Sometimes. But to me, I think you need to hit the flow.
There's a little baby around me, and babies are funny because like grown spirits, you're like not right now. And you're like, okay, babies are like they just hover. So the baby's gonna stay with us. We're probably not gonna be able to place her, but I'm gonna let her go. Take a deep breath.
More so about controlling the strings of the smaller, the microcosm, knowing that your big goals, your big smart goals are taking.
Okay, and now I'm with another friend.
The educator in me.
Was there another friend that passed that knew your other friend that passed, but he passed like later in life?
So kind of buttoning up that when it comes to that, I think you're going to be fine. Literally, gifts are right underneath the house. And there's
I'm not sure about that. Probably.
I would say
probably.
Whoever this person is makes my head feel like pins and needles.
Like be a little bit of a gremlin sometimes. Like nobody's stopping
you. You have so many guys around you. You have guys around you in life as well? Do you like work with a bunch of guys?
What I like
or it's just like your friends?
If I'm ever
more my friends than
I just need to shake off energy. Once
again, alright, I'm gonna leave this guy as well since we can't place him exactly, but you have guys that are with you and they feel like they make me laugh, like they feel lighthearted and they're literally all just like drinking a beer and they're waiting for the rest of y'all. You feel like you're gonna live a little bit longer than some of your people. How old are you now?
50.
I don't predict that, so I'm not doing that, but it just feels like you're gonna outlast some people. So I would say hold a lot of space for yourself because it feels like, yeah, you don't always vocalize it so much, but you hold it right here. Do you have a therapist at all?
Do I do what?
Do you have a therapist at all? Okay, and I would love everyone to, so if you do at some point, that would be great, but either massage or acupuncture or yell in the woods or something, you hold a lot here and you feel so much and you're so wise that it's just not always expressed, and I don't want it to clog in your throat. Yeah, you and the boys around you feel so similar though. Like you have good hearts. It's some good guys that you have around you. Have you had like people that have fallen out along the way? Have some like sour apples left and it's been like the good core of you guys that stayed?
It feels like just the good core. I don't even think of. I mean, sure, but when I was younger, there's I guess some bad apples.
You feel so good, like you guys. I'm a girl's girl, like I'm very about, but like you guys are so kind and good and secure. You've been through some shit, and none of yourself give yourselves enough credit. I like that you rag on each other. Like, it feels like you're silly and stuff like that, and I think that helps. Yeah, I don't even need much from you guys. I just would say know that the intimacy that you have and the comfort of the emotion is similar in your friends as well. It's nothing that you have to verbalize, but you're all very kind people. Do you have a very tall guy friend?
So, this is
are any of your friends gay?
Of, like, put on your best lipstick when you go out.
I don't think so.
Okay. The tall one, is he Italian or something?
And I even sometimes
No.
will, like,
Okay, it's funny. I'm like, gay, Italian, or artist. It's all feel the same. The tall one, is he quiet?
So I'm like,
He feels like a tree. Like he stands and he's just like so. When he's with you guys, he's comfy. Does he dress well? Yeah, like there's some. What's that show? Oh my god, I can't think of it. He reminds me of this guy from the show. I like him a lot. He's probably the. You know how I said your poet is here. His poet is probably here. Like you might hear some of his sometimes. He's probably the one that's most intimate with that stuff, even though outwardly he might not appear it. Does he have a daughter?
He does.
Is it the only daughter?
No.
Okay. Is his daughter the oldest? Or does she live near him?
Well, he has twins. One's a boy, one's a girl. They're the oldest.
Okay, alright, totally. Yeah, he's very focused on the girl, and I won't really get into so much of that here. Give me a minute.
And we could be talking about not that person. I mean, that might not.
I think it's the tall guy, because he feels very tall. Alright, here, take a deep breath.
A lot of things going on and coming out of the thick of the mire, you know? But a lot of things.
It's so funny. This is because then I get his dad. I'm like, no, not today. I'm like, not yet. All right. I would say it's a boys' club for sure. The ladies that you have are elders and they're taller. Around your age, is it mostly men that have passed?
You know, there are people out there like with their like
my age.
their pterodactyls eat everybody up and everything. I'm like.
I think it's kind of half and half. I don't know.
I feel so mad. Like I'm not getting so many. Excuse me, of the women other than the people that are like older, and obviously like I know that her daughter as well, so like now she's present, but I don't want to get, because it's going to be the ego coming in there as well. Yeah, it's a boys club. All right.
I do straight up I shoot straight from the hip, so I may not be the best, but I'm not an angel.
And you grew up in Chicago. Where do you live now?
Yeah, south suburb, but
for lack of. I work with a lot of the misunderstandings.
Did you live in like the city before?
When it comes to that, I'm a big,
it was a suburb.
Big sort of like Lilith is one of my big kind of like.
What kind of school was it? School in the city or the suburb?
Old ancient.
What's that?
Was it school in the city or the suburb?
The suburb.
Yeah, you feel city and now you feel suburb. All right, whatever. Okay, take a deep breath with me.
Has been like co-opted from other stuff and bastardized into what it is today.
All right.
But I work very direct.
Now they're kind of quieting. I can pick more as they come, but is there anyone that you're thinking of that we'd like to contact or we'd like to hear from?
But like when it comes to that, a lot of the trauma work, a lot.
I mean, my mom, I guess.
And like
how old was she when she passed?
She was 68.
Yeah, that's way too young. What happened with her? Was it a sickness?
It was, yeah, it was kind of a few things, but yeah, sickness.
Was she having memory problems?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She feels. Hold on, give me a minute.
I don't know if you've been in there.
I have not. I've walked past it many times.
But then again, I have antiques back to 1810.
Did she pass in the hospital or at home?
In the hospital.
Okay, that might be why. I don't know what it is, because she feels foggy in the end, or like the vision or something, like it seems like it was all colors. Hold on.
Right, I kind of want to make it up to Lilydale one day.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think... Did you... I hate the term mama's boy, it's like a bad thing. Did you feel like a mama's boy? Were you very close with her?
Yeah.
Okay, because like when I think of you with her, I think of you young and you're on her leg and you're like shy and you're like looking. And she loves you. And like literally it feels like... Oh, hold on. And I know that we've been with your father. Your father was the one that passed when you were young?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's that ending of phase. It's an end, not the end.
Yeah, like
that's not going to drop out from your underneath your feet.
Yeah, you're harder on yourself than everybody else is. I think all the people around you love your emotion. She likes that you are shy and that you gained your confidence, because you're not a mama's boy. You're just a safe person and you're a kind person.
And sort of that love scope of scene. Don't
take a deep breath.
That glamour can't work on the work side of things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm in the front on a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you had to deal with the logistical things. Do you feel like you didn't have time to mourn it properly?
You need to switch it up for what you need to make happen. So,
Exactly.
indeed.
Possibly.
Meeting you today. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I want everyone to have a therapist, so if you did that, it'd make me happy, but you don't have to if you're not. But some sort of something at some point to unpack that, because you literally had the whole world on your shoulders. Yeah, and every time I keep having us do deep breaths, because every time I try to pin it down, it like flies away. Like I can't even hold it, and it just feels like you weren't able to either process it. When did she pass again?
Yeah, you know when like
22,
Yeah.
2002. So.
I would have literally thought that it was like 2 years ago or something. Like it feels so recent, and especially since it's been a while. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I shouldn't care about that anymore." Oh, it's fine. Like it's been a while. It's always going to be important. It's your mama. So I would say, as those things arise, give yourself space. Because for example, if she passed and you had to do a bunch of bullshit work and like all the logistics and all the stuff for the next 3 years, you probably are like still running on that, and then we settle into, oh my god, I've had a loss, and that's when we start to feel it. But if that's years later, and then we're like, oh, I should have gotten over this, and we don't give ourselves the time, it's just going to prolong it. You carry a little bit of her on your chest. I'm sorry, did I say she's small? She's small. Yeah, she's so cute. Like she's so precious. She wants you to relax. She worries about your chest a little bit because you hold stuff, and it feels like. Do you get anxious?
Yeah.
Do you like not breathe so well when you're anxious?
I hold my breath.
Literally, oh my god, yeah, she worries about that. Yeah, it makes me feel lightheaded. Take a deep breath with me.
She is amazing.
I'm also thinking about your partner. Did she ever meet that partner?
My mom, yeah.
She doesn't. She's very, very upset at that situation as well. The lady have a big ego on her?
Did who?
Your ex-wife?
I think that's why we get along.
Not in the beginning.
Not in the beginning, no.
Now she feels like she has a stick up her ass, and it feels like mom is very disappointed in her. It also feels like part of that stick up her ass is because what she did was wrong, and I still can't access what it was, and I'm not going to get into it, but what she did was wrong, and she's needing to build up an ego so that she doesn't have to sit in the wrongness of what she did, because she really did fuck up. Mom is disappointed in her and is like this, and feels like she's standing in front of you. She's like so small, and she's like ready. She doesn't feel the need to act because you're very on top of things, and she doesn't want to infiltrate your space because you like to do things and you're independent. Were you good in sciences?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay,
No, I do too, honestly. Every time I do this, because we're in...
Yeah, she worries about your chest. Do you get pain in, like, your shoulders at all? Yeah, like, it literally, like, I have a chest, and then it makes this shoulder hurt, and, like, I'm like, oh my god, and, like, this one's fine right now, which makes me happy, because that would be the signs of heart problems down the line, which I'm not a doctor, so always check in anyway. But, yeah, you just hold a lot of tenseness, and she might be away like this, because she doesn't want to infiltrate your space, or fuck up your boundary, or hurt your heart at all. But I would say, give yourself space.
Or this spring, I should say. I went for 10 days.
Focus on the breath. You don't have to sit and do a meditation, but if you do breath work, that would help a lot, because I do think that you either like forget to breathe or you get anxious and then you feel like you're like, oh my god, and then it's lightheaded, and that's the one thing that she focuses on. Yeah, you feel so wise and so kind. You feel like a poet in your heart. If you start painting the ugliest paintings, I would love that for you. Like, just start doing something to honor that intimacy in you. She's very proud of you. There's nothing that you have to do. You're already doing it. You also were wronged, so anything that you're doing in the next few years, even if you sit and just survive and take care of your baby, you're doing a fucking awesome job.
I don't have a tremendous amount of free time.
I would like you to laugh a little bit more. Have you been, obviously, but have you been a little bit depressed in the situation with, like, yeah, we need to laugh more. Like, you used to laugh, like, belly laughs. Like, I can see it in your eyes and your face. Like, oh my god, like, you're so beautiful. And, like, yeah, you've just been low. So I would say let yourself feel low, but she's so excited to hear the music of your laughter again because it feels so good. When you're with the guys, I feel like you laugh, but there's been something lost since that, and we won't get it back because we don't get a thing back. We find stuff and then we find new stuff, but there's a new spark that you will be acquiring. Just open your heart to it. And she loves when you laugh. Like, I'm literally laughing. I can like see it, and it's so beautiful, and she just, it's like music to her. Yeah, all right, sorry, now we went over. Take a deep breath, Manny. Yeah, hold space for yourself. Like I said, this is physics, consciousness. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's there, and I'm not special. You're doing this all the time, and it's only because these people walk with you. Yeah, the women, they feel very tall, and it might be because they don't want to infiltrate because you're doing a great job. The boys are around you, and they're with you, and they're walking with you. I would say if you'd like to hear from anyone more, talk to them, yell at them, be like, hey, what the fuck, I'd like a dream, I'd like something. If you're nervous, be like, don't bring that spooky shit over here, I just want to live my life. Just interact with them a little bit more, and make it your place. It feels like you're like, oh, I was young, I don't know. You experienced it. Whatever you remember, even if you don't remember, you remember the loss, or your sisters had this experience, you had a wholly different one. So I would would say hold space for yourself. Especially because you're emotional and not in a bad way. You feel stuff in an intimate way. You're a human. You live life. So I would say let yourself indulge in that a little bit more. I would like a therapist because someone else needs to tell you shit about that fucking lady that fucked you over, and I think you need someone to, you know, validate that because it just feels like you haven't validated it enough for yourself. Okay, one final deep breath. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, that's what I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good day.
You too.